I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then you're not here, you missing out. Is this show? Welcome to the We Love Wrestling Spotlight. It's Terry. I'm here with Danielle, and I'm here with a rising star coming up. People are talking about him. He's doing moves in the rings that we don't see from people his size, but it's an amazing thing, and it's an enjoyment to watch. Everybody, this is Yahya. We want to welcome you, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing swell, man. How about y'all? How y'all doing?
We are doing great. To start off, I just want to ask you, because it's We Love Wrestling. What started your love for wrestling?
The quick answer is my dad, because he's been a fan of wrestling since he was my age. When he was like 8, he's watching it, waking up on Saturday mornings watching wrestling. And me and my brother were born or whatever. Me and my brother like 5 years apart. But when we started getting into wrestling, that was like the thing that really brought us together. So it was really father-son bonding that brought me into wrestling, and then I started liking it on my own. So.
Now, I seen a match with you, and you did some things that I didn't expect to see. To see you do. I'm just going. You're doing things in the ring I wouldn't expect to see coming from something. Like if I see you, be like, oh, what is he doing? So
What match did you see?
Was it the what's the Danielle, what's the name with the C you sent me?
Was it Cam Carter?
Cam Carter. A Cam Carter match.
Boy. That's my boy. Shout out Cam Carter.
Yes, Cam. We trying to get Cam.
He's moving like a 205 live guy, if I would say. And you're keeping right up with him. So who trained you? How did you get started doing this?
Oh, I'm trained by the legendary Mr. Number One, George South. If I don't say that first, he'll kill me when he see this, because he watches all the interviews and stuff. He'll kill me if I don't say that. Shout out to George South. But I trained at the George South Wrestling School. Head trainer is George South. Before he went on to WWE, we were also trained by Cedric a little bit, James Drake, a.k.a. J.D. Drake. Caleb Conley has helped train us. So we have a plethora of guys that have been in the business for years that have been gracious enough to pass on the knowledge to us. And I appreciate it.
Okay. Danielle?
So, with, keeping in the tone of like your wrestling style and like being so admirable for people who are smaller, right? Like, who do you model yourself after?
I mean, I wouldn't say I model myself after anyone. I try to be as like in my own skin as possible. That's what like George and Cedric have like put in my brain, like to take little things, but like don't try to be so much like anybody. I try to take like maybe like the athleticism and smoothness of like Shelton, but the charisma of like a Shawn, with the brain of like CM Punk. It's a plethora of things that like I think about when I try to like get my moves together and what I'm gonna do in the ring. So there's a plethora of things that go through my mind, like try to make everybody know that I'm big. I mean, I know I walk through the curtain, everybody's like, "Oh, that's a big dude," but I want them to really know that I'm a big guy.
You're a big deal.
So you just won't.
I didn't want to say it.
You didn't have to say it. I said it for you.
I appreciate that. I was trying to be humble. I was like, nah, I can't say that. That's too much. That's too much.
I'll say it for you. I'm fine with saying it, yeah.
I appreciate you.
So you say you take all these different guys' styles. So it's like you're a big pot of gumbo, just mixing everything in.
Mm-hmm. Mix it on up, baby. Mix it on up.
And when you give it to the crowd,
you got a taste test.
And when you give it to the crowd, it's just like boom. You want them to see like, hey, I'm here. This is me. Remember my name when you leave from here. That's your whole. Okay. Well,
that's the goal. Anybody in wrestling though, but I try to like. I've done so many different things. Like I've been the most hated. I've been the most beloved. So like I just try to instill a memory that will last a lifetime. Because for me, watching wrestling as a fan, it's like the small moments that made me like, oh man, Sean is my favorite wrestler. It's like the small moments of Sean. Like Sean has always been phenomenal to me, but it's like the small things he does in between that make me like, okay, yeah, I need to start doing that. So it's little moments that I want to stick in people's heads. Like, did he really laugh after he got hit? Yeah, because he didn't really hit me. So I'm telling you, he weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you gonna hit me, you better hit me. That's my thing. So I want people to like to see that and be like, oh, well, when everybody else gets hit, they stagger or whatever. But now he just looked at him like, that's it. All right, my turn. That's my whole thing.
Is there a match when, like, you're wrestling and then, like, was there like a match that you had where you was like, okay, people are starting to notice me. I'm out here. This is what I'm supposed to be here.
I want to say I had like 3 different matches that felt that way. Um, the first time I had a singles match in New York, and the way like, of course, my family like the Jabatiers and my family were like real hype, but then like you start to hear the other people in the crowds like murmuring like, oh snap, okay, hold up, and then like there's that where you're like, okay, people starting to recognize my hard work. And then you have moments where I remember one time there was a ladder match I was in, and I was walking to the ring, and I was like, just I wasn't expecting a big reaction, but I was just like coming through the curtain. I had just won the PWX title, and I had just come through the curtain like for the ladder match, and like this whole crowd just like side of the ring just stands up, and I was like, oh my god, okay, oh that's what I'm talking about. I was so pumped for that match. And then it's also matches where
Okay.
it was like the Fatal 4 when I was in New York against Moff, Grimm, or Mike Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And like after the match, he shook my hand, and Moff was like, "Yo, you're good, kid." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, if Moff says it, oh, that touched my heart." So shout out Moff, man. That's my homie right there. He doing big things on ROH, man.
That's good. That's good. Dan Moff, if you don't know who he is, big time. So if I was I'm in Indiana, so I came across you by Danielle, and then she was like, "You know who Yahya is?" I was like, "I've heard the name," and then after she said it about 3 weeks ago, I seen stuff just pop up of you, like my phone was listening to me or something, or listening to what was around me. Now Yahya matches are coming up. Where can we see you at if people are trying to look to find, like, where can we find you at?
People can find me on my YouTube channel where I post most of my matches at and promos, and there's also skits. I'm gonna be putting some other stuff on there as well. It's called the Big Time Yah brand. So check me out that on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Big Time Yah. So
You said you got skits. Let me subscribe. What type of skits you do?
well, a while ago there was a group I was in called The Power with me, myself, Montana Black, Ian Maxwell, and Bobby Ballantyne. We were all a group. I kind of turned on them because things wasn't going, people wasn't listening to the game plan, so I got frustrated. Sometimes I can be erratic,
Okay.
and I realized I was wrong at the end of the day, and I tried to come back to them and be like, yo, I messed up, my fault. And they wasn't having it, so it was a series of me trying to go and get their forgiveness one by one, and basically me getting punched in the face every time I try to get forgiveness. And I deserved it.
Have you guys ever, or have you ever thought about revisiting the skits? I mean, I a couple of interviews that I've done so far, I talk about my love for like build and story, right? So I love the vignettes, I love the promos. Like, any desire, any effort to get back to some more skits or any lead ups?
Definitely, we got some stuff that we're trying to plan out now, but with Corona, certain people can't be around or whatever, so it's like complicated right now to get everybody in one area to do the story and get all the planning out. So, but we're trying to do more stuff as we speak. So hopefully soon by the end of this year we can get some things out. Fingers crossed.
I know, extra fingers crossed. So
Right.
my last question would be, with understanding, everything that's gone on and the state of wrestling generally, right? But I want to get more specific to say the state of Black wrestling, right? Hear me out. What do you foresee as the future of Black wrestling?
The future of Black wrestling is gonna go one or two ways. I see one way as more people, and I mean more people like in management positions will start like signing more African American talent and using them correctly, because we're at a time now in the world where a lot of Black wrestlers are tired of doing the whole song and dance, and it's either you're smiling a lot, you're angry for no reason, or you're just dancing for whatever. And so I think it's now gotten to a point where a lot of people like there's more to us as a people that you can tap into that you're not tapping into. And if they choose not to do that, then I see people going out and finding other promotions that will do that, and you'll see an influx of African American talent to a certain region as far as like who's going to book them correctly, because New York is a hotbed. They book different kind of African American talent. I notice that every time I go up there, there's different kind of characters for each guy. So guy or girl. So I think that is what you'll see. You'll see it would be like the Harlem Renaissance, where a bunch of Black people go to one finite area and really raise that area up.
Do you, well, when you're trying to get shows out here, do you have you had any flack out here being a Black wrestler coming up where people wouldn't want to book you, or you don't, we're talking about the pandemic and everything going on, any negative interactions with people trying to be out here?
You mean like as an out here, you mean like in Indiana, or you mean just like in wrestling period?
Are you in Indiana?
I'll try to get up there to no avail. If you know promotions, throw my name out there. I'm trying to get everywhere,
Oh, okay. I'll just mean in general, like Indiana, I know how it is. Some people are taking notice of what we're doing here, so I am shopping some names. It's a show actually coming in August. Maybe we can get you here for that. Do you have any shows coming up?
Coming up right now, I have a July 4th show in North Carolina. What truly matters. There's a whole lot of African American talent coming out and showing support for each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna wrestle and fight, but at the end of the day, this is about uplifting the community in such a hard time. We want to put some positive Black faces out there for the youth to see that. Hey man, it may be really, really bad right now, but there's hope on the other side. We can still push forward, and things are gonna change. It ain't gonna be like this forever. Things are gonna change because a lot of people that didn't care before care now.
July 4th. When they see this, it might be after July 4th. So after he says that, the video you just saw are highlights from that event, because I'm trying to be at that event. What truly matters happening in North Carolina.
Come on through. Come on.
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
And yeah, that was your last question. So here's my last question for you, Yahya. Do you have, just for us, just 2 to 3 people, not too many? Do you have like a list of people who you want to face in wrestling?
Oh, yeah. It's a long list, but I'm gonna short it up to the cream of the crop.
Okay.
There's no disrespect to anybody else, but this is who I want right now, just to test myself and see where I'm at.
Mm.
Top of my list, I would love to face Kenny Omega.
Oh wow.
Because I've watched him like not be like before he became considered the best in the world. I've watched him since he was just with the Golden Lovers, you know what I'm saying? Him and Coda was killing in the tag team scene. I've been a big fan of his forever. I just want that's a dream match of mine personally. Another one I want to wrestle Rich Swann at some point.
Oh wow, Rich.
Yeah, Rich is a cool dude, man. Every time I see him, it's always a great conversation, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I want to wrestle Ariel.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
Big Swole?
Yeah. That's like my big sister in wrestling.
Okay.
She used to train with me as well. You know what I'm saying? Her and Cedric used to train with us. And I've wrestled Cedric like 3 times, I believe, or twice. But I've never got a chance to wrestle her. Like I wrestled Savannah Evans and we had a killer match. And I just want to wrestle Big Swole one time for the one time.
Oh, gotta make it happen. It's got to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is the We Love Wrestling Spotlight. If you don't know him, you should know him. His name is Yahya. Once again, can you tell them how to find you on social media?
On social media, on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Big Time Yah. Make sure you follow me. I post a lot of my highlights or memes or whatever on there. On Twitter, I'm more, saying about the movement, and I post a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about. Justice for Breonna Taylor, stuff like that. And on YouTube, it's at the Big Time Yah brand. You can find me there. Watch all my matches, my skits, my promos is on there from back in the day. Everything's on there.
Well, big time. This was big time for me. Yahya, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
And as you know,
I appreciate y'all having me on.
I appreciate you being with the We Love Wrestling Spotlight. Thank you. For more information, go to WeLoveWrestling.com.